live. How are we, lads? ProEnzo, Vidz, CJ Moxley. Alright, we're just walking in now for the Dragons and the Bulldogs come back. The atmosphere! The crowd is electric! And gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Rugby League Breakdown Podcast, episode number 98 for your Wednesday night, August 9, 2023. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. As always, we are joined by ProEnzo Vidz. How are you, ProEnzo?
Yeah, bro, not too bad actually. A bit crook at the moment, but I'll pull through. But we've got a few things to talk about tonight. It should be a good show, and the countdown is on to 100, so I'm very excited for that.
Well, mate, I hope you get well soon. Obviously, there's nothing worse than getting crook. I had a bit of a pain in the stomach last night, but it didn't last long. It went away. Obviously, a can of Coke will fix that up. But I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Also, we got a bit of a little announcement that we need to get out to the public. Just want to let everyone know, August 23, so not next week, but the week after, will be episode 100 of the Breakdown Podcast. It's going to be a huge event. It's going to be one of the biggest podcasts that we have done to date. Probably is the biggest podcast that we have done. And we're going to be getting our good friend from Taree, Nathan B. Moore, to join us via satellite from Taree. And he's going to be coming on to the program and he's going to be performing a couple of songs for us and for the episode 100 of the Breakdown Podcast. So episode 100 in 2 weeks, August 23. The show might be a bit of a later schedule. It might be an 8 o'clock kickoff, might be a bit later, but it's going to be a great event. It's going to be a massive show. So 2 weeks, episode 100. Lock it in your calendars. It's going to be a really big show. Lorenzo, I'm looking forward to episode 100.
Oh, yeah, cannot wait. I mean, we've been through the podcast, through it all together from the start to nearly the 100 episodes in, so it's a massive achievement. We got to celebrate it hard as well.
Oh, yeah, mate. I'll be bringing alcohol to the program. I know I've got young people who probably don't even know what alcohol is that watch the channel, but I will be bringing alcohol to have a good time. But
better do it.
It's going to be fantastic. Hello to the live chat. Hope everyone's doing well there. Hello to everyone. Hello to Viking King, Nathan Moore, Josh Rabideau 2023, SS Storm fan, Luke Melbourne Storm fan, Liam Pritchard, Jason Reeder, Will, Aaron Marnie, Rishi. Hello to everyone that's here. Sorry if I missed anyone. William Pearson, hello, my friend. Who we got here? Everyone tuning in. We got Paddy G in the chat. I'm going to put this on the screen. Time to get fucking hammered. Well, you're not wrong. Episode 100 is going to be a big event. But anyway, that's in 2 weeks. We got 2 more episodes to get through. This is episode number 98 of the Breakdown Podcast. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like the stream, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to ProEnzo Vidz if you haven't already as well. His channel is simply world class. If you haven't checked out his channel, make sure you do. Now, also, a little bit of sad news. Tonight, there will be no game show. We decided to hold off on the game show tonight until we work out another way to do it. Like, obviously, it's different with just the two of us. So we're going to work out a bit of a new game show for next week. But tonight, there will be no game show. But, ProEnzo, let's get into the show, shall we?
Yeah, let's go. Looking forward to it.
We have plenty of things to talk about, and we might as well just get straight into it. And the first thing that we're going to discuss is Sam Burgess. Obviously, he is a South Sydney Rabbitoh legend. He is going to Warrington to take over there as head coach. Do you think Sam Burgess going over to Warrington as a head coach is a good move for Sam Burgess, and can he lead Warrington to some success, ProEnzo?
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of it. I think Burgess, has done his apprenticeship with Rabbitohs as an assistant and trainer when Wayne Bennett was their coach, and yeah, obviously he's worked with JD just now, and I think over time he'll become a good head coach. I feel like with all that experience he's got before, and I guess he's going back to back to England where he's from, and he's obviously got good knowledge in the Super League as he started there first in his career, so. I think it's a good move for the Wire. They definitely need a new direction, I feel like. And I think under Burgess, he'd get those forwards up and going and definitely will, hopefully get the best out of them. So, look, I'm a big fan of this move. It's good for Burgess and the Wire.
I think what the Rabbitohs are hoping for with Sam Burgess is I think they want him to go to the UK. They want him to win a comp or two, then come back and maybe get a gig as an NRL coach. But who knows? Maybe he'll take over South Sydney. Who knows?
Yeah, could happen.
The success of Jason Demetrio is very unknown. We don't know if he's going to lead the Rabbitohs to premierships. We don't know if he's going to just make finals and get eliminated. We have no idea how Demetrio will go at the Bunnies, but as time goes on. But Sam Burgess, I think him going to Warrington to learn a bit more and come back to the NRL in, say, 2 or 3 years from now. I reckon in about 3 years he'll come back, spend 2 years in the UK, then come back. But I think it's also, I think it's a great thing for Warrington. Like they've got a lot of quality in their team. They've got Dufty, they've got George Williams, Paul Vaughan. They're getting Lachlan Fitzgibbon there next season, and they've got a lot of experience as well in their team. So I think this is a great thing for Warrington and Sam Burgess.
Yeah, I agree. I think it suits him because he's from England, and I think because he is, I think, ready for a head coaching role. So hopefully at Warrington it all works out well.
Yeah, 100%. Now let's move on to some other breaking news that we learned over the weekend. Jerome Luai. Now I'm pretty sure we've all seen his shot on Nelson Asafa Solomona on the weekend. Now, look, I'll be honest. I don't like Nelson. I don't like Jerome Luai. I really don't give a shit who's, I don't care if Luai did it on Nelson or whatever. Doesn't matter who it's on. End of the day, Luai's hit. It was unnecessary. It was a cheap shot. And if it was any other player, they would have been binned and they would have been looking at 3 to 4 weeks on the sideline. I have a huge problem with this inconsistency with shoulders to the head, sin bins, send-offs, get away with it. Lorenzo, I get the Luai one may not have been as intentional as or as dangerous as some of the other ones that we saw on the weekend, like the Nathan Brown one or the Moe Fotuaika one. But Luai, mate, he should have been binned Friday night. That was a disgrace. What's your take on the Luai hit?
Yeah, I mentioned this on Monday as well. I think looking at that hit he did on Nelson, not a good look at all. And I think that's definitely worthy of a sin bin. And he shouldn't miss games for that, honestly. I think if anyone, like you said, if that was any other player, they'd be missing games by now. But Luai got off somehow. But at least he's missing tomorrow's game against us because he's come down with an illness or something. But, should be missing games either way, though, because of that hit he did on Nelson. But, clearly an ugly hit and definitely intentional as well. I don't think it was an accident. So, I think he deserves to be suspended, even though he's not. So, yeah, a bit ridiculous by the officials not to do anything about it.
Now, look, I know a lot of people are going to get upset when I say this, but this is just, unfortunately, this is the comparison. If that was Victor Radley, and I feel sorry for Victor Radley to always have to cop this, if that was Radley on Nelson, how many weeks is Victor Radley getting for that? 3 to 4 weeks? He's getting binned. They're looking at Radley going, yeah, it's Radley again. Quick, get him off, because Radley is a target. Luai, on the other hand, seems to be protected. Now, I could be completely wrong about that. You guys can let me know if I'm right or wrong. But if that was Victor Radley on the weekend on Nelson, not Jerome Luai, how many weeks is Victor Radley getting sin bin for? or not getting sin bin, getting suspended for? Lorenzo, what do you reckon?
Well, I'd say like him, Latrell and Jack White. Sorry, not White. Jack Heverington. If they all did tackles like that,
Yeah.
they'd all get jail penalties or something because they all seem to get targeted for tackles and stuff. But yeah, in all seriousness, he'd get a few weeks. Victor Radley, I think he's a target. But look, I like Luai, good player, but the referees protect him and many other players too.
There's absolutely no denying Jerome Luai is a fantastic player, one of the best players in the competition, without question. Top 5, top 10. He's in that list. But that shot on the weekend, he should have been binned. Like that was disgraceful. He should have been charged. If Luai had got 2 weeks, then that would have been fair. That would have been fine, fair enough.
Yeah, I think so too.
And look, I know I'm going to probably upset people when I say this. I watched the Tom Burgess hit on the weekend where he got sin binned. For me, Burgess's shoulder didn't even contact the Sharks player's head, yet he got binned and got 3 weeks for it. For me, that Burgess shot was probably more of a head clash than it was a shoulder to the head. Yet Luai does a deliberate shoulder to the head, and he gets off. It's the consistency of the bunker and the NRL judiciary is disgraceful. It really is.
Oh yeah, it's bad. And when you look at it like that, where Burgess was more of an accident compared to Luai,
Exactly.
and Burgess gets more of a suspension.
Jerome Luai dug the shoulder right in there. Like, he got Nelson right in the face. He should have been binned.
Yeah, 100%. It's ridiculous how inconsistent it is right now.
And this is not this is not an attack on Jerome Luai. Like, don't get me wrong. If other players, if this happened to other players and someone got away with it, we'd be talking about the exact same thing. But unfortunately, Jerome Luai did it. He should have been suspended. He should have got 2 weeks for that. Disgraceful.
Yeah, he should have gotten something for sure.
Disgraceful. Now, unfortunately for Luai, he's come up with some sort of illness where he won't play tomorrow night against your boys, Manly. But not the point. He should have been out automatically.
Yeah, already. Yeah. So basically, that's like his karma, I guess.
I guess it's karma. I guess it is. I guess you're right. But anyway, let's move on to the Payne Haas saga, man. Oh my, I can't believe what I'm reading with this whole Payne Haas thing. Now, again, it could be media beat up. Payne Haas is apparently set to reject. Now, the key word in this is apparently. Payne Haas is apparently going to reject $3.5 million Bronco offer, which is about $1.1 million a season. That is huge money for a front rower. I can't think of any reason why Payne Haas would reject this. It's got to be some sort of media beat up. Are you surprised about this Payne Haas stuff, Lorenzo?
Well, there's always been speculation about his contract for a while, and I think it's been happening from more than this year as well. So it's been a few years now they've been talking about Haas' contract, and look, I'm not too surprised, I guess, because he's a big name player, and there's always speculation that his manager's shopping him around and wants more money or whatever. But look, I think at the end of all this saga, he'd stay at Broncos. I reckon. I can't see him leaving.
He has to.
Because I think because half his family are in Queensland, and because obviously the Broncos have been a good club for him in his career, I do see him staying there. But with money and stuff, it's hard to tell. I reckon.
Look, I know Kevin Walters, the Broncos head coach, has come out and said he expects Payne Haas to re-sign in the coming weeks. But let me just say this. The fact that this is even being discussed in the media, $3.5 million over 3 years. So that's over $1 million a season for a front rower. Now, I know Payne Haas plays 65 minutes a game. He plays big minutes. He can play 80 if need be, but there's not many front rowers in the game that are worth $1 million. I mean, me personally, Lorenzo, if I was starting an NRL club tomorrow and I was looking at the salary cap and I was bringing in all these players, I'm not paying a front rower $1 million. I'm not doing it.
Unless they're really good and deserve that money. Look, it's a bit of a stretch for me. I only give them maybe $950K at most.
I reckon ball playing locks are worth more than front rowers because of their ability to play 80 minutes and ball play in the line and add more to their arsenal. I don't think a front rower, a battering ram like a Payne Haas, who obviously has a big engine tank and can play 65 to 80 minutes a game. I know that's obviously very good and all, but there is no way in the world I'm paying $1 million for Payne Haas. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, not yet. Not for me anyway. No.
Now, again, we don't know the full detail. There could be a bit of media bullshit about this. If Payne Haas is going to say no to $1.1 million a season, then he is nothing more than a greedy cunt.
Yeah. Well, it's money that anyone would take if they're smart, so he should take it.
If I'm a front rower and I'm getting offered $1.1 million to stay at the Broncos, a team that's coming second on the ladder, a team that is being talked about that might be able to compete with Penrith come finals time, a team that could potentially be in the grand final this season. If I'm being offered that, why the hell would I say no?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say no to that. It's way too hard to.
Honestly, if Payne Haas doesn't re-sign with the Broncos, if he goes somewhere else and it's about money, then it's laughable because I can't name any other team that's going to have 1.1 million a season for Payne Haas. Maybe one of those bottom teams that are just mediocre, but why would Payne Haas want to go from a team that's in the top four to a team that can barely fucking get out of the bottom four? Like, it makes zero sense.
Yeah, look, I think Broncos will end up keeping him, and I think they'll
They
work
have
out.
to. I think
they'll
it's
work
an
out
absolute
something.
outrage that the media have even got hold of this. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe how far this has actually gone. Take the fucking contract and re-sign.
Yeah. Well, I
Do
think
not leave. If he leaves
Yeah.
Brisbane and goes to a shit team, good lord. Good fucking lord. Now let's move on to some other news, ProEnzo. Let's move on to your boys, Manly. Now, last Thursday night, obviously it was Roosters up against Manly. And Manly 5'8", Josh Schuster is going to go back to the second row next season. There were talks that he could even go there as far as this weekend, but I think he'll be playing 6 tomorrow unless something changes late. Do you think Josh Schuster's worth the price tag that he's on, $800,000? Do you think back rower like him, Schuster's worth that? Or is he worth less?
I don't know. It's too much money for a forward. I don't think any forward deserves that money. I mean, maybe some do, but not like that much for
Fader, maybe kick out.
But I think look, he's good enough to earn high money when he's on, but probably a bit of a stretch right now because you don't get paid that much money each season. So not ideal, but we'll hopefully we work our way around it. Get the money sorted, whatever, going forward.
Off the top of my head, there's probably 3 to 4 back rowers that are probably worth 800,000. I'm thinking about a Fafita, a Kickow, a Nanai, because we know Nanai's value is going to go up because he plays Origin. Even an Olakawatu could even be worth probably more than Schuster. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, you'll have yours, Lorenzo. Would you pay more for Olakawatu than Schuster?
Yeah, well, probably because he's more established in that position. So probably Olakawatu's not on that money yet, but I'd hope he gets there one day.
Now, I know it was last week, and I don't want to get into it too much, but let me just say this. Last week, that was one of the worst 5-8 performances I've ever seen from a player. I know we had, a try and a try assist with about 10 minutes to go or whatever, but for 70 minutes last week, Josh Schuster at 5'8" was one of the worst 5'8 performances I've seen in a couple of years. He was so bad. I'm surprised he didn't get hooked. I honestly couldn't believe he didn't get hooked.
I don't think it was that bad. I think towards the last 20 minutes where he got that try and set up a few, that probably saved him, I think. But
that probably did save him towards the end. I thought last week it was the worst player, and he's on $800,000 a season. He's on huge money. How much do you reckon he's worth? For me, I reckon Schuster's worth about 550.
Yeah, probably that max, I guess. Just needs to prove he's worth that money he's on now, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see what Manly do next year because they are talking about putting him in the back row. Do you think he'll be playing back row next year?
Yeah, well, that's why I got Brooks, I guess, which I'm not too sure how that will go. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's what will happen.
yeah. Now, some other news today, or we learned about this just recently, actually. NRL going to Vegas. Wow, this
Yeah,
is this is
huge.
absolutely huge, and we will get into this. I've got the I've got the fucking thing here somewhere if I can find it. NRL going to Vegas. Here it is here. So this is the report that's NRL reporter, journalist, whatever you want to call him. David Riccio is reporting. So round one of the NRL will obviously begin in Vegas. There will be 2 games in Las Vegas. And the games will kick off at 6 o'clock at night time here, 6 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. in the USA, which will be a 1 p.m. kickoff here in Australia and a 3:30 p.m. kickoff. So 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 3:30 in the afternoon here in Australia. And the participating teams will effectively they will play in round 1 on March 2, but then they won't play the following week. The next match will be on the week of March 14, which I think will be round 3 of the NRL. It'll be a 9-day turnaround to get back from Vegas. So the teams that are apparently involved, obviously, the Broncos will be there. The Rabbitohs will most likely be there. Manly, I believe, are going to be there
I think
because
so.
of the whole Hugh Jackman thing. I think the other team they talked about was either Melbourne or Penrith, one of those two. NRL in Vegas. Do you like it, Lorenzo? Are you against it? What's your take on NRL in Vegas?
Yeah, well, I'm keen to see how it goes. I think it'd be a good thing for the game to expand its sport out to another country in America. I think, I think it's good for just the game exposure and stuff like that. Like, I get it. Maybe, teams and fans want to see their team play in Australia for the first game of the year, which is understandable. But look, it's one game. One game doesn't really hurt many people, and it shouldn't anyway. I think, if it works out, that's great. Keep doing it if they want to do that. But if it doesn't work out, then I suppose just don't worry about it going forward then. But it's always good to trial out things, I feel like, and probably just going to America, I think, is something that would work, I reckon, going into the long term, I think. Great stadiums there for NFL, most particularly, because I believe that's where the teams will play in NFL grounds.
Yeah.
But it's good because it'll promote our sport over there, and obviously a lot of Australians watch basketball, NFL, and many other sports from America. So no, I think it'll work. I really do.
Mate, I'm actually right behind this. I'm really keen.
Yeah,
Now, I know the round 1 schedule next year is going to be very weird with the whole thing, time zone and schedule, and it might be a bit messy the first couple of rounds. But hey, 4 games. I mean, 2 games over there in Vegas. Promote the game. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, you got South Sydney involved. You're going to see Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe will promote South Sydney like never before. You'll have Hugh Jackman promoting Manly. Broncos obviously will have their own promotion as the Queensland team heading over there. And you're either going to have Melbourne, who have got their own little city to themselves, or Penrith, who have won the last 2 comps. So you're going to have a lot of promotion over there. Now, this is going to be absolutely huge for me. Now, again, it could fail, but I'm trying to be positive on this whole thing. They're going to be playing at a stadium that the capacity of it is 65,000. Now, there's no way in the world we're going to get 65,000.
no.
What crowd attendance number do you think would be a pass mark, Lorenzo?
I'd say anywhere between 8,000 to 10,000. I reckon. I think that's a good starting point. I reckon. I know it's not the biggest, but because it's another country and because it's new sort of sport over there, I think 10,000 would be a fair margin to get to. I think so. If that's the case, then it's a pass mark for me.
Okay, for me, Lorenzo, my expectations are a bit higher than that, bro, because I feel like if you're going to have two games, if you're going to have two games at the one venue, back to back, I feel like you need a reasonable crowd. Obviously, 65,000 there. I reckon 20,000. I reckon 20,000 is the number. 15 to 20,000. If they can get that for a double header, then I think they've done very well. Obviously, if you get 15 to 20,000, it might not look great on TV, but the thing is, it'll be like watching a game at a cool stadium, to be honest, because they never sell that bloody joint out. But I'm looking forward to this. I really am. I think it's going to be great for the game. And you know what? This might sound crazy to some people as well. I would love to see a magic round go over there as well.
Yeah, it'd be massive. I don't see it happening anytime soon, but if it does happen one day, I'll be open to going there. I think.
I reckon a magic round would sell over in the UK, over in America, because then you've got every game live at the one venue in the USA, and you've got all these new fans. But the thing is, right, you got to if you take a magic round over to the USA, I think you've got to do it at the right time. Like, you can't do it when the NBA's on, and you can't do it when the NFL's on. So May is a complete write-off. I reckon do it around round 20, round 21 of the NRL.
Yeah, late towards the end of the year.
Yeah, do it like late July, early August, I reckon. That way, there's no NBA on. The NBA season is still finished. You got preseason, which no one cares about. The NFL hasn't started yet. I know you've got baseball to compete with and a couple other sports and whatever, but I'm telling you right now, if you take a magic round over there around late July, early August, it can work. It can work out well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say no to it. I think it has potential. It'd be huge. Like, everyone gets to go to Las Vegas or America and have a weekend there. It'd be huge. Everyone's gonna love it.
It's huge, I'll tell you what I'll do. You have the week off when they come back. So when they come back from America, you have no NRL for that whole week. You just give everyone 7 to 9 days to recover, and then you get straight back into the next round of footy.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because I think flying to other country, you need a break. You need a break. It can get to you. So I think a week off would be a good idea.
The reason why I like this is because you're taking the game globally. You're advertising the game of rugby league. You want to get more people invested in the game. You want to get more support for the game. And to be completely honest with you, the NRL just staying in Australia all the time isn't going to sell. I know we've got great support from places like Fiji, Samoa, Papua New Guinea, Tonga, but I think it'd be great as well if you take NRL games over to those venues. Like, I'd love to see one NRL team be forced a year to take one NRL game to a different area. So maybe the Broncos can take one game to Papua New Guinea. Maybe the Bulldogs can take a game to Tonga. Maybe the Roosters can take one game to Samoa or something, or Penrith to Samoa, or whatever. But honestly, I think every NRL team should be forced to take one home game a season to a venue where it's not their home, and they obviously, spread the game and try and, make things bigger. Take it to an area that might not be familiar with rugby league.
Yeah, no, it'd be good. It'd be good. And I think places like Samoa, Tonga, like all those small islands, it'd be great promotion over there. And I'd love to see it. It would be huge. It'd sell out in no time. Sold out in no time.
100%. I mean, like, as a Cowboys fan, we should take a game somewhere that we've never been before. How about we take a game to fucking Adelaide or something? Whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Look, any promotion's
So,
good promotion in my opinion.
anyway.
So, yeah, I don't hate it.
100%. 100%. Now let's move on to some other news, and the Cowboys looking like that they're going to lose Jordan McLean at the end of the season. There's rumors of him going to Hull FC. Haven't seen anything on the Cowboys end yet, but I got a message this morning from a close personal mate of mine from Hull, and he has told me it's been reported everywhere in Hull. McLean to leave the Cowboys. You think this is a good thing, or you think this is a bad thing? What's your take on it?
Yeah. Look, I think he's getting older, and I think he is losing his pace a bit. So it might be a good move for the Cowboys to make to let him go. But I still think he adds a bit of experience and some sort of depth to his side. So maybe for Hull FC, it's the right time for him to go over to the Super League and just end his career there. Look, he's not playing amazing footy, but he's doing a job still. So yeah, I think the move it makes sense. It makes sense for him, and Cowboys have plenty of good young guns like Griffin Name will step up in the next few years. You still got Tanoa Brown around for now. So you got a lot of depth there. So I don't think losing McLean's a big one.
Yeah, look, I think if he goes over to the UK, I mean, good on him. I mean, he brings a lot of experience, a lot of leadership qualities about him. It might be a bit of a loss as in terms of like experience and whatnot, but like you said, Griffin Name's coming through and he's been outstanding for us this season. He'll probably start front row next year, or maybe you start Cohen Hess, or maybe we're going to go buy someone big that we have no idea about, that no one knows about. Who the hell knows? But McLean, look, not the biggest loss in the world, but good. If he is to go to Hull FC, then I suppose good on him, right?
Yeah. Well, it could really help him, I guess, get through the last bit of his career as well. So I wouldn't hate it.
No, I wouldn't hate it either. But good on him. We'll see what happens there. Now, Graham Annesley has come out and defended a couple of referee fuck-ups over the weekend, and he's obviously criticised some of them. One of them that I want to talk about was on Sunday in the Eels-Dragons game, where the Dragons were leading, what was it, 22-10? No, 20-10, sorry. And there was a run from Jacob Little where he ran the ball and Gutherson sort of tackles him, rips the ball out, goes backwards, and then Amone picks it up and scores. We all thought Dragons were going to be up 26-10. The NRL have come out and said that the decision was the wrong call. And in fact, Gutherson did rip the ball out and it should have been a Dragons try. Do you think based off that, do you think the NRL are basically saying that the Dragons were robbed? Or do you think it was just an unlucky call? Because if that try is given, it's 26-10 Dragons and we have a different game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Dragons were robbed. Yeah. After looking at that again, they were robbed. I think that was a game-changing moment to see that one because they would have been up by, 16 points then? It was 26-10. So, you don't really lose games from there often. So, I don't think they were robbed. I do think they're robbed. So, but, it's a tough one. But I definitely think that Gutherson made a rake at the ball, which he did because it was obvious he was, trying to get the ball out of Little's hands. So, Dragons were done there, but, their year's not really in any crisis at all. So, they play for nothing anyway. But they're robbed for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty 50-50 call. At first, I thought it was a strip, and then I went back and had a look at the replay, and I went, maybe it was a strip. But, look, if the Dragons were in the top 8 or a chance of playing finals, you'd be hearing more about this. But because it's the Dragons and that's second last, and they'll probably come second last anyway, no one really cares too much. But if the Dragons, obviously the Manly game, I thought the Dragons were a bit fucked over, but, it'll be very interesting to see what happens with the Dragons in obviously this week and the coming weeks, but a little bit unlucky there against the Eels the other day. Now, there's some breaking news last night. Sharks forward Wade Graham announcing he's retiring at the end of the season. What do you reckon about Wade Graham retiring? You think it's a good decision? Me and the King actually predicted this at the start of the year, but Wade Graham retiring, I think it's the perfect timing, to be honest.
I think it's a bit overdue. Like, I think he should have retired a few years ago, probably as well. Because look, I don't think he's been playing great footy. Let's be real, for the last 2 to 3 years. But he's done well to, I guess, manage to play for this long, like 16 years. I think he's been playing the game for. So that's a good achievement. And look, he's obviously won a comp at Cronulla. He's obviously been playing footy for a while and has made the big dance and once, but played finals in international footy for the Blues and Australia. So he's done it all, and he deserves to be credited for a very good career. So probably a bit overdue, but he's had a good career. So I wish him all the best in retirement.
Yeah, look, I think Wade Graham's career will go down as a very underrated career. But you can see he's coming to the end. I mean, he's a lot slower. He's not as quick as he once was. He's still, good for experience and whatnot, but he's coming to the end, and I think it's probably the right timing for Wade Graham. So, good on the Wade Graham, and he'll still be involved in the game. I mean, he's working with Triple M and whatnot, so good on him.
Yeah, no, he deserves to be sent out a good way after the career he's had. So, no, fair play to Graham.
Underrated, and he's had a great career. He's been a fantastic back rower as well. And final topic, and then we'll get into the round 24 preview. There's talk about State of Origin potentially going over to New Zealand in a couple of years' time. Lorenzo, I'm going to be honest with you. Origin in New Zealand, I'm against it. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I guess we're all used to having it in Melbourne, Adelaide, or Perth in the past. But yeah, Origins in New Zealand, it's probably going to take a bit of time to get it all sorted out, the time zones and stuff. But
yeah,
it'll work out, I think, eventually. I think it's a good sort of thing to promote over there, because I think it's a chance of potentially being a good thing to happen. Origin in New Zealand, I think it'd sell out, I reckon, because it's a first time thing for all the fans over there, and I think they'll love it. Probably, it's gonna happen, but I'm not sure what year though. But it'd be soon. But yeah, I don't mind it. I really don't.
Honestly, bro, I'll be really annoyed if they do take an Origin over there. I don't think New Zealand is a great venue for it. They would rather have a World Cup over there or an international tournament over there. Having an Origin in New Zealand isn't going to go down well with the New South Wales and Queensland fans. I mean, the New South Wales and Queensland fans whinge enough about taking games to fucking Adelaide and Perth and whatever. Taking it to New Zealand definitely won't go down well with the fan basis of New South Wales and Queensland. Origin's different. Like, traditional Origin for me has always been in New South Wales and Queensland, and a little bit in Melbourne. I don't think having Origin in New Zealand will work. You're better off just having, international footy go over to New Zealand. Like, for example, the Rugby World Cup's going to be in Australia in 2026. I think it is. Why the hell is it not in New Zealand? There should be in New Zealand.
Look, I don't mind it personally. It's probably a bit strange to see it happen over in New Zealand, but I guess there's always a first for everything, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, you know what they say. You might as well give it a try if you haven't done it before. So, whatever, just give it a crack, but whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, so obviously no game show tonight, but let's get into the round 24 preview. some massive games this weekend. There's a lot of important games, actually. Let's get into it, Lorenzo. Tomorrow night, Thursday night footy, round 24 of the NRL, kicks off at Brookvale Oval. Manly versus Penrith. You'll be at this game, won't you, Lorenzo?
Yeah, I will be. Yeah.
You confident that you can knock off Penrith?
Look, I wouldn't. Look, I'd say never. I know Penrith have some players out, but it won't change too much. Look, they'll probably win Penrith, but look, because I'm backing the team for the rest of the year, I'll just tip us by 2, and first try, maybe bench Webbs in the back row, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, look, for me, I'll go Penrith 13 plus. I just think that'd be too good. First try, I'll go Edwards at fullback. Score the first try. Friday night, 6 o'clock game out at Shark Park. Looking forward to this game. Actually, I reckon it'll be really close. We've got the Sharks and the Titans, Lorenzo. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I guess a tiny upset, but not really an upset. But for some reason, I see the Titans turning up winning this one. I know Sharks got their win over the Rabbitohs last week, but I don't think Titans have been awful recently. Like, honestly, they were in the game despite having Fun Awakers sent off against the Warriors, and they still played pretty well. I just see them winning Cronulla somehow. So I'll say Titans by 6 and first try Katoa.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go to the Sharks. I think this will be really tight. Sharks to win 1-12. First try scorer. I'll go Nakora, but looking forward to that game, Cronulla versus Gold Coast. I reckon it'll be entertaining. The other game Friday night, 8 o'clock, up at the Gabba. Broncos, Eels. Can the Eels cause an upset?
I think Broncos will be too good. Like, I think they'll continue their winning run and get another win for the season. So I'll say Broncos by probably 10 and first try. Let's go Walsh.
Yeah, I think Broncos will win as well. I think it'll be closer than people think. I'll go Broncos 1-12 and first try. I reckon Reece Walsh as well. I reckon he'll score first as well. Saturday, 3 o'clock from Barlow Park in Cairns. Gee, the poor Rabbitohs, they must be fatigued from all the bloody travelling they've been doing lately.
Yeah.
Bloody Sunshine Coast to Tamworth to Perth, now to Cairns. They must be exhausted with the travel. Souths against the Dragons. What do you reckon? Reckon Souths bounce back?
They should. They really should, because Dragons are a team that they should be beating on their day. And I think they will. I'll say Souths by, let's go, 14 points. And first try, I'll back in Campbell Graham first try.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Souths by 14. Souths 13 plus. I'll go Latrell Mitchell first try scorer. I think he needs a big game. So I'll go Latrell first try. Souths to win. Next game, Tigers and Warriors from Hamilton. West Tigers taking a home game to New Zealand, which is always a worry, especially with the form the Warriors are in. I think Warriors will have a big win here. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think Warriors 13 plus. I'd say by 18 points. Should be a big win by them. And first try, I'll back in Montoya.
I'll go the Warriors 25 plus. They'll kill the Tigers. First try, Jackson Ford, because why not? Saturday night, 7:30, Allianz Stadium, Roosters, Dolphins. The loser of this game is done. So it's a really big game, this one. What do you reckon? Roosters or Finns?
I think Dolphins will be close, but I think Roosters will be too good. And they should be at Allianz. So Roosters by 6 and first try. Going to go with Joseph Suoliti.
I'll go the Roosters 1-12, but I tell you, the Dolphins will be up for this. It'll be closer than people think. Roosters 1-12. I'll go Tupou to score first on the wing.
Yep.
No footy, 2 o'clock. Melbourne versus Canberra, Lorenzo. 4th versus 5th. Amy Park. I reckon this is the game of the round. I can't wait for this game.
I think Melbourne will be too good. They should win in Melbourne. I think because Canberra have a good record over Melbourne in Melbourne too. So got to be wary of that. But yeah, Melbourne should win. I'll go Storm by 4 and first try Nick Meaney.
I'm going to go the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, wow.
The Raiders are my specials of the weekend. I reckon they can win the Raiders. So Canberra, I reckon they'll keep that winning streak up in Melbourne. Canberra will win 1-12. Tomoko will score the first try.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that.
And Sunday, 4 o'clock from Newcastle, McDonald Jones Stadium. Knights and the Bulldogs. Last time it was 66-0. Can the Knights continue their winning ways?
They should against the Bulldogs at Newey. I'll say Newcastle by about 14 points, and probably first try will be Ponga at fullback.
I reckon this is going to be a closer game than everyone thinks. I reckon Knights will win, but I reckon it'll only be 1-12. First try. Look, I'm going to go Dom Young on the wing to score the first try. Knights to get it done.
Yeah, no, too good. They should be too good.
All right. Well, ProEnzo Vidz, thank you very much for a great podcast, my friend. And 2 weeks away from episode 100, bro.
Yeah, no worries. Good show as always. And 100 is going to be huge. So I'm keen for when that time comes. So thanks again.
Yeah, no worries. Next week, episode 99, then episode 100 in 2 weeks' time. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching the podcast. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out ProEnzo Vidz as well. Anyway, we're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. And see you guys in the next one.